Hello, this is Dennis McDonald with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can get us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com. We are working on a Snoopy telephone for Bill in Washington, and this is like the second video. And a few things I want to show you here. We're in the process. Earlier we built a bridge rectifier, which is right here, and now we are going to install it. A couple things I want to talk to you real quick about, and this is probably going to take a couple of videos because they don't allow you to have very much time on YouTube. I want to show you something real quick. Push this back here. I don't want to be too close. This is the line modular port for the line cord, and I don't know exactly why AT&T, SBC, Western Electric, this is a single line phone, and I see this quite often. They will have a yellow and a black, which represents the second line. I have seen in the past many times where people at their homes or business on a regular line will get the second and first line confused, or there's a problem with the first and second line, and this is connected up in these older telephones or in telephones, and that will cause you problems. We are going to disconnect the yellow. Some people cut them, and I very well could have cut the yellow, and I'm just going to disconnect them so we don't chop up the phone, and I'm going to disconnect the black. That was for a second line. Okay? These are single line telephones. They don't need to be connected, and believe it or not, when these are connected and if there's a problem, sometimes at businesses and at homes that have regular phone lines, they'll let somebody work on them, or there'll be a problem there, and they can get these two crossed up with the first line. It will short the telephone line out, and it can cause the telephone not to work properly. So I've seen a lot of things because we also work on telephone lines here. So we want to get them disconnected. That's the first thing. The second thing is we want to make sure that we dig our lines out here. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to add our bridge rectifier now. So basically we're going to snip this, and we're going to snip this. We want to on the incoming line, most people who are in electronics would know probably how to configure a bridge rectifier. They may not know how to configure a bridge rectifier in a telephone, but they would probably know how to configure a bridge rectifier. And if that's the case, that's great. If you do not know how to configure a bridge rectifier, you can probably go on the internet and find out. Right now what I'm doing is I'm connecting up the incoming line to this bridge rectifier. So I'm configuring it at this point. And I want to do it so you can see what I'm doing. The video probably isn't clear enough, but this will give you some idea what you have to do. So basically I'm just configuring the hookup for the bridge rectifier to the telephone. You can't just hook this up any way. It has to be hooked up a certain way or it will not work. So, like I said earlier, if you're in electronics, you probably know how to make a bridge rectifier. but you may not know how to connect it to the telephone. So it's going to take a little bit of studying up on what you have to do, and you'll have to look into it and figure it out, because the video is probably not clear enough to show you here, and I wouldn't have enough time to try to teach you. And there is a proper way to connect these up, and there's an improper way. So it does matter where the wires go. I'm not just putting them anywhere. Okay, now that we have that configured, I want to check the time here. I went ahead and I dug some of these wires that go to the bell out. When you see these yellow caps on these wire ends on the connectors, that's a factory protection right there that they put on them. So we don't use them naturally on the bell because they're not even hooked up. This is what we want to do. We want to make a connection here. I'm going to grab a couple of jumpers. And basically what we're doing is we're getting the ring circuit connected up. Off the incoming line. And we're just making some connections before we make our final connection. I don't suggest you do this unless you know what you're doing. When the phone rings, they shoot an AC signal down the line. So this is not something that you want to do if you're not familiar with what you're doing here, because it can shock you. We work on electronics every day, so I mean I get hit by voltage all the time, by TVs and power supplies. So simply holding this cap here, if this were to shock me, it's enough voltage to light a bulb. So it's an AC signal. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that now. So now I know how I want to put my cap in, and I'm simply going to solder my capacitor in where it needs to be soldered, and we will go from there. I don't know that I have enough time to do that on this video, so I'm going to do that after I get off the video. But basically what we have here is we have our bridge rectifier that's in place now, and we will get the capacitor added, and once we get the capacitor added, we will put a little protective coating over this. We'll tape it up or get it mounted so that it's not touching anything, it won't hurt anything, and then we will be able to plug this telephone in anywhere we want, and you will always have proper polarity with it, and you will be able to dial out, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to dial a number real quick. There's a 2. Let's start all over here. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Star 0 pound 2, 6, 2. So basically the telephone is repaired, but I'm going to do a final video on this after the phone is all together again, and show you a little bit of the whole phone all together, because this is a beautiful telephone. It's an original Snoopy, and it deserves another video, a final video of it working and put back together again. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed it. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, and goodbye.